Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So in case you missed it, we recently changed our location here and just trying to elevate the level of the channel and just getting things going. So today we're going to be doing Leviamon. This is really awesome. Finally another of the 7 great demon lords that has his own dedicated deck and doesn't have to share with one of the other demon lords or anything like that. I know we have the support coming out here in the future that is crazy 7 demon lords, but until then, everyone excited just for Leviamon. Finally, we have it. He has his own deck, and dang, is it strong. If you saw our prediction for this format of how strong this deck is, yeah, he's like towards the top. Like, I think I put him in the top 3 of the best decks. He's that strong. He is a control freak, and it can put in some absurd amount of damage. Also, with the new location, we're trying to get to the point where we can start streaming. There's a ton of Ultimate Cups and Regionals coming up that I've already signed up for. I would love to stream all of those for you guys, as well as all the online locals that are out there that I get to play in. If you guys want to support literally just the cost of a booster pack, $5, and just a couple of you guys to, a handful, we get over 1,000 views on our videos, and we need 80 people. So 480 people, $5, whatever amount. You guys that have been doing the big donations, golly, my hat goes off to you. Whoever you are, you guys are absolutely incredible. I love you so much. All right, as always, I've got the whole deck pulled up for you guys so you can kind of follow along with us, see what we're working with, and our overall intent. If you'll notice, we are 51 of 50 cards here. That's because I've got 3 cards down here in the bottom section that are just going to be kind of talking points, and basically you're going to pick one of those and probably double up on it and play 2 copies or one of each of the level 7s. All right, but for the majority of the deck, this is what we're working with. For our babies, we're opting for the Sunomon here. We do a fair amount of drawing and trashing in this deck, so the Sunomon just getting us that bonus draw is pretty awesome. Yeah, so that's pretty much the name of the game here. If you're not familiar, the idea is to Evo Leviamon X Antibody here from trash for free. So that is our end goal. So dumping him to trash is pretty important. However, it's not the only way. We can just Evo him normally. The 6 Evo cost, not the best, but it is a possibility with the X antibody option. For our rookies here, we've got the new BT15 Gizamon, which is on play. One of your opponent's Digimon gains on deletion, lose 1 memory until the end of your opponent's turn. But it's the inheritable here. We're going to see this inheritable a whole lot. It's for the consistency and the overall strategy of the deck here, making if we do have to Evo that big 6 Evo cost, we can mitigate it pretty substantially with a lot of the inheritables. All turns once per turn when an opponent's Digimon is played by an effect, gain 1 memory. Just FYI, we have cards that force our opponent, I should say, to play a Digimon by an effect. So that's very important. Next, we got the Syakomon from EX5 from the previous set. On play for each of your opponent's Digimon, draw 1, then trash 1 card in your hand. That's pretty amazing. So for each of your opponent's Digimon, draw 1. That's it. So that part is draw as many as they have, then trash 1 card. So you get 5 draws, whatever it is, and then you trash a single card. So you don't have to trash for every card that you drew. And then the inheritable here of when an effect plays an opponent's Digimon, gain 1 memory. All right, so again, the same inheritable there. This is going to be a really, really powerful consistency piece for the deck, I do believe. Next, we've got the starter deck 16 Gabumon here. Start of your main phase, if your opponent has a Digimon, gain 1 memory. Always a super strong effect here. And then we have that when attacking, once per turn, draw 1, then trash 1 card in hand. We don't mind the once per turn here on this because we're not attacking multiple times. This isn't like a true Garurumon deck where we get like 5 swings in 1 turn. We're just swinging once, and it's just going to be for a bunch of damage. All right, and that's actually going to do it for our rookies here. We're running 12 here. This is kind of the new standard for big stack decks is 12 rookies, and we have so many consistency pieces, like with the training cards now, that it's 12 rookies has been absolutely fine in any big stack deck I've played for the past year, really. For our level 4s here, we got the Jessomon from BT15. It's got blocker, not overly important these days. Blocker is just kind of meh. It occasionally comes up. It keeps your opponent from getting a cheeky little, like, swing in with, say they're running like Psychmon or something like that. And, you know, it keeps them from being able to crash it into your security, get a free security check, you know, that kind of thing. So we got the blocker there. But on play, when digivolving, your opponent may trash one Digimon card in hand. If they don't, gain one memory. So a 1 Evo cost potentially here. That's not too bad. Your turn, while your opponent has no Digimon, this Digimon can't attack. That's not that big a deal. We're not too worried about ever attacking with our level 4s. But again, we have the inheritable. When an opponent's Digimon is played by an effect, gain 1 memory. Now, keep in mind, this is an all turns effect. So on all these guys, depending on what you're playing against, that could be huge, right? Your opponent plays a Digimon by effect. Say you're playing against Commandramon, right? We got the new Digipolice stuff. They could be playing something like that, and they play a Digimon by an effect, and then boom, all your inheritables kick in, and you gain a bunch of memory. So not only does it help us during our own turn, but it actually is a counterplay to a lot of what a lot of decks are doing these days. For our next level 4, we got the Garurumon here from Starter Deck 16. He's got the security effect. You may play one Gabumon or one Tamer card with Matt Ishida in its name from your hand or trash without paying the cost. We do run the Gabumon, and then depending on what you want to choose for your last 2 cards of your deck, you could be running 2 Mats as well. So there is some synergy there. When digivolving though, draw 1, trash 1. We definitely like that. Again, getting the Leviamon X into trash is the most ideal thing that we can do. Out of everything in the deck, that is the most ideal, like, by far. So multiple ways to do that, either through, you know, digivolving here, or Siakomons on play, or our inheritables Gabumon as well as the Garurumon here when attacking, draw 1, trash 1. And I like these that are when attacking because they will really combo nicely with our Waru Seizuremon when we get there. And I opted for just 3 of this. Originally I had the Garuru at 3, but I ended up swapping them. I feel like the Garuru is going to be more powerful. On player when digivolving, if there are 4 or more total Digimon, so yours and your opponent's combined, play 1 token suspended to your battle area. It's a Digimon purple 3000 DP. All looks like no level to that either. So if anyone has a level deletion or play cost, it will not be able to delete this. It can only be like basically targeted for general Digimon or DP specific. All turns, this Digimon can't unsuspend. On deletion, trash 1 card in your hand. So bit of an awkward thing there. And then if there are 3 or fewer, play it suspended to your opponent's battle area. So that's what's really nice there is you gotta really time it out. You want it when there's 3 or fewer, so that way you can put that body on their side, and then again that'll trigger your inheritables here on these guys right here, as well as can potentially trigger your Leviamon X in trash to Evo for free. Next we got the Waru Seizuremon here, and this is really the thing that brings this deck into, I think, competitiveness. Like, this is really the ceiling deal right here for me. All turns, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon is played by an effect, all of your opponent's Digimon gain on deletion, lose 1 memory until the end of your opponent's turn. When attacking, your opponent plays 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card from their trash, suspended without paying the cost. Any on-play effects on Digimon played by this effect don't activate. Then you may switch the attack target to that Digimon. So your opponent forces your opponent to play out something. All of your opponent's stuff has to lose 1 memory on deletion. And you forced the attack. We also have piercing inheritable here. So, and if you ordered your stuff right, if you trashed your Leviamon X with your Garurumon here, then you can Evo into it, assuming you have either X antibody underneath or Leviamon. You do have to have some sort of, you can't just do it to do it, right? So let's go ahead and just talk about this guy right quick. He is our backup plan. The Warrior Digimon is definitely our main one, but Dragomon here is our backup. On play, when Digivolving, your opponent plays one level 4 or lower Digimon card from their trash suspended without paying the cost. On play effects on Digimon played by this effect don't activate. So unfortunately, this one is a when Digivolving. The other one is when attacking. I like the when attacking more because I can build up into the Warrior Digimon potentially in raising area and be protected and then promote up in swing. Whereas the Drago is, promote up your level 4, Evo into the Drago, and then do the whole combo and probably pass turn, so you won't get that good like synergy of being able to attack over it, pierce, 3 checks. That's kind of just like I said, he's our backup, but still super solid for a control piece. All turns, once per turn, when an effect plays an opponent's Digimon, you may play one purple Digimon card with a level less than or equal to it from your trash without paying the cost. So that's pretty cool too. And again, we do have the piercing inheritable. That is, I think, super important, having that piercing inheritable. So let's talk about the big one that brings us all together. So trash, all turns. When an opponent's Digimon or Tamer is played by an effect, one of your Leviamon or one of your Digimon with X antibody, that's referring to the option card for those that don't know, in its Digivolution cards may Digivolve into this from trash without paying the cost. And that's the big, huge stipulation right there, is without paying the cost. So normally this is a whopping 6 Evo cost, but you can Evo for trash off of either of our level 5s doing what they do there, but you need the X antibody option. So we are running 3 X antibody options just because we have no reliable way to search it out. So I think having at least one extra copy will help make sure we get it to our hand a little bit faster. This thing has security attack +2, massive 14,000 DP on a level 6, and both your level 5s give you piercing, so you're doing 3 checks at 14k. Like, we don't have any sort of DP boost or anything like that going on in this deck, so but still 14,000 DP is incredibly impressive on a level 6, security attack +2, just mind-blowing. But you know what? That's not what makes this deck as great as it is. When Digivolving, if your opponent has as many or more Digimon and Tamers as you, delete one of your opponent's Tamers. Then delete one of your opponent's level 3, level 5, and level 7 Digimon. So yeah, massive explosion there of deletion effects. Super strong, especially if you're Evoing for free, you're piercing over stuff. I mean, crazy. Now keep in mind though, when your opponent plays that Digimon for free, if you choose to change your attack target to it using the Warrior Digimon, and that's one of the targets that you choose to blow up, the attack fizzles. In case you don't know, you can't just redeclare into something else. The attack just goes away. So when they play something out, if it's a level 3 and it's the only level 3 on their field, do not change the attack target to that, okay? So just keep that in mind, because it will have to blow up the level 3. We are playing 3 copies of the Leviamon X Antibody. Why 3 and not 4? The thought process here was that we want to get a lot of these effects to come off. We could just Evo this for 6, without the free and anything like that. So I wasn't too worried about trying to make sure I have to have it in hand to discard ASAP. We can still use it normally. We don't have to do that trick, but it's still a very, very powerful card that we'd prefer to do if at all possible. So I went with just 3 copies here. I feel like that's a consistent amount anyways. Pretty much most mega decks these days, you rarely see 4 copies of any one mega. It's pretty uncommon. So 3 is solid, and we do have 2 of the original from EX5 as well, because 1 we can Evo on top of it, so that's nice. It's also really powerful on its own, 13,000 DP, security attack +1. On play or when digivolving, if your opponent has as many or more total Digimon and Tamers as you, delete one of your opponent's highest level Digimon, then delete one of your opponent's lowest level Digimon. All turns when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, gain 1 memory for each Digimon deleted. So you can Evo for 5 and then potentially gain back 2, so it's only a 3 Evo. You cleared 2 targets, the highest and the lowest, which highest is usually what you're going for. So even Evoing for 3 and then popping like, you know, an Omnimon or a War Greymon or something like that, that's just crazy in itself. And then you have this awesome Leviamon on field. So, and that's an all turn. So if your opponent like swings into security and you've got a Leviamon and it dies in that security check, boom, they lose 1 memory. So it can be a pain to deal with. I do have the one Anubismon in here. It will be limited, so I'm going off of the limited list here, of course, for this deck. And I still think this card is incredibly powerful, especially with the Leviamon being able to just do those crazy combos and bringing out the Leviamon and things like that, or bringing out like a Death X, and then the Death X further reduces itself. This card is just busted. It's at a 1-of for a reason. So pretty much, I would say all purple decks, but this is like one of those like purple staple cards moving forward. It's just, it fits into so many different decks, and it's just a frustrating card to deal with when digivolving and main. So you can just use this effect turn after turn after turn. You can trash up to 3 cards in your hand, then play 1 purple Digimon card from your trash with the play cost reduced by 3 for each card trashed by this effect, further reduced by 1. So you can reduce something by 6. So, you know, you could play this out for 7 if you so choose, or just really any of these guys, right? We've got the Dragomon, who is an on play as well, so you could play this guy out for 1, and then, so say you discarded this, the Leviamon X, well, I guess you couldn't do that, because you'd have to have the X antibody, but you could still at least trigger, so you got your on play from there, you have your on play from there as well, so, you know, this will play to your, if you play this to your opponent's side of the field, you know, you can trigger your Leviamons in trash with the Anubis through multiple different avenues here. Bring back a Siakomon here. So, you know, trash it off the Anubis, and then it just plays itself for free, and then you draw a whole bunch of cards. Like, super strong, like, just in general card here. And then your turn, when an effect plays one of your Digimon, delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. If this effect didn't delete, draw 1. So it's also consistency as well as a board control. Just really, really powerful effect here. All right, going on from there, let's actually look at Biting Crush, because Biting Crush really combos really nicely here. I got 2 copies in here. It's great if it hits in security, like by far incredible if it hits in security. Main, by trashing 1 card in your hand, delete one of your opponent's level 6 or lower Digimon. If this effect trashed a card with 7th grade Demon Lord trait, place this card in the battle area. So the idea is to discard a Leviamon or a Leviamon X antibody, either or, and then you can set this up in your battle area, and it's got the all turns when an effect plays an opponent's Digimon delay, you may play 1 Leviamon from your trash without paying the cost. Now this is specifically Leviamon. You can't play the Leviamon X, but we've still seen how powerful this card is. So these 2 in conjunction, just 2 and 2, feels pretty good. So you can just, you know, have this until you have the setup for it, and when an effect plays an opponent's Digimon, like, okay, we've seen how many times that happens, so it's a good amount. So you'll be able to trigger Biting Crushes very easily to bring out your Leviamons. And then we got the new card, 7th Lightning from BT15. Trash effect, so same as the Leviamon X antibody. All turns when one of your Digimon digivolves into Leviamon X antibody, by returning this card to the bottom of the deck, delete one of your opponent's level 4 and level 6 Digimon. Now, if you remember from the Leviamon X, his when digivolving effect deleted the level 3, 5, and 7. So this card will handle the rest of the 4 and the 6 that we missed. So these 2 combined is a full, like, I wouldn't say board clear, but it's like a full straight, right? If you're a poker fan, it's like a full straight here. And you just get to clear it all. So that's really awesome. And then main, by trashing 1 card in your hand, delete one of your opponent's level 4 and level 6 Digimon. So same trash effect, so not too bad there. So you can just play it, ditch the Leviamon X by trashing 1 card in your hand, and then delete one of your opponent's level 4 and level 6 Digimon. So just a 7 play cost, delete a level 6 Digimon. Like, that's not too bad. That's usually what you use these kind of removal cards on anyways. And then if you're trashing the Leviamon X, it's just even more value there, because then you can get the trash effect as well. And then going to the bottom of the deck is really important, because you can make sure you do your order correctly here, but you can bottom deck it and prevent yourself from decking out, giving yourself one extra turn that your opponent didn't see coming. They're like, oh, he's decked out, he's got nothing, and then you go Leviamon X, and then just return this to the bottom of the deck. And this just says when one of your Digimon digivolves into Leviamon X antibody. Okay, so you don't have to do the X Evo or anything like that. You could just Evo this guy for 6 on top of a level 5 like normal, and then just put this to the bottom of your deck. And then you have a whole extra turn that your opponent didn't see coming. Very powerful. We got 4 of the Wisdom trainings here. Just reveal 2, add a purple card, delay, pop this to reduce an Evo cost by 2, which isn't too bad here because we do have a couple expensive ones. This is really nice to use on like your level 5s, so you can go into your level 5 and keep turn, and then get the Leviamon X antibody to Evo, preferably for free. We have 3 of the X antibody effect are options here, of course, just because we need it for the Leviamon X. We're not going to be evoing Leviamon X antibody on top of Leviamon all that often, weirdly enough. So we're pretty much relying on the X antibody option being in the source to really get the value here. Now, again, it does give this win attacking effect. So this win attacking effect is not to be slept on. If you can't do the whole like Evo Leviamon for free from trash, for whatever reason, you've just missed timing or whatever, you drew it off the Gabumon when attacking and whatnot, and you just can't like do it normally, you can still just Evo it from hand for 6 and still get really good value. But that is the core of the deck there. So all that right there is 48 cards, and that feels super good. You've got all your consistency pieces, all your strategies work really nicely. If you can Evo for free into this guy, and you get these other effects here, so your level 4 and your level 3s, inheritables here to gain a memory, that's going to be really good value to give you, get all this back. But also, if you're just like Evoing for 6, right? If you're just doing that big 6 Evo cost when attacking with the X antibody option here, just think, if you're playing these bodies off, that's going to help reduce those costs even more. So just things to consider. It just kind of helps makes plays a little bit more consistent, I would say, a little bit more less worrisome, right? So I Evo into my Warrior Digimon. I'm at 0 memory. I'm swinging. The opponent's plays out something. I gain 2, and then I use X antibody Evo for 6, so put my opponent to 4, but I get a big old nuke on them, so that feels really good. Now, for the last 2 cards of the deck, I would say just kind of pick whatever you feel like you want to play here. The mats are nice. Memory fixers are always good. I don't know how fast or slow the format will be. I think it'll be a little bit slower than the EX5 format because of like the Anubis getting hit will definitely help a good amount. The Garuru decks are going to be a little bit slower. So we've got time to, build upon. So after the hits, the format should slow down pretty substantially, and so maybe running mats will be viable. But right now, taking basically an entire turn just to play mat to pass doesn't feel great. And now if you can get the hit off of the Garurumon and play it for free, that's really great. But we also like it because all turns when one of your effects trashes a card in your hand by suspending this Tamer, gain 1. And that is a all turns effect, by the way. So any of these, cards where we're trashing a card in our hand to activate stuff, or, on Evo, we're trashing cards. When attacking, we're trashing cards. Whatever the case may be, we can get some memory back off the mat. So not only is he setting us to 3, but he's also gaining us an additional 1. So having basically 4 memory to work with during our turn, very powerful. But if that's not the case, if the format is not slow enough to play Matt, we have some other alternatives here. Of course, we have the Shine Greymon Ruin mode. Just this big blanket negative 5,000 DP to your opponent's board is super powerful. It prevents them from promoting stuff out of raising areas. Sometimes they can't hard play any of their searcher cards, their searcher Digimon cards, anything like that. So that's just, he's so good. And the recovery, the deletion, very powerful just control card. And if we're playing, stuff like Leviamon's here for free, we go into the Leviamon X antibody. He's done his thing. He did his when digivolving. He pierced and got that security attack, the 3 checks there. And then he's just sitting there suspended. What do you do to pass turn? If you don't think that the security attack +2 is going to be all that needed anymore, you've got him down enough that the security attack bonus is no longer needed, you can just go Shine Greymon to pass turn. So Ruin mode to pass and be absolutely fine. Or you can go Death X. Both of these cards are very expensive. I understand that. If you can't afford these, run the Mat. Very, cut and dry. If you can't afford either of these cards, the Mat is a great alternative, like I said. Death X, just a great board clear. Combos incredibly with Anubismon, so you can reduce this guy by 6, and then he further reduces himself by his own effect as well. Yes, they do stack like that. That is how it works. Man. So I did some gnarly plays at Nats with Anubis and Death Xmon. So it's just great. So that Digivolve, wipe the opponent's board, feels really good. I don't know how useful Death X will be in the next format. This format, yes, incredibly strong, but after the March 1st limit list, I don't know if Death X will be quite as needed anymore. The Ruin mode might be what you want to lean into. If you got like a trade going on, like give up a Death X for a Ruin mode, I probably would. That would be a pretty good trade in my mind. If you don't have a Ruin mode and you have a Death X, I think a Ruin mode might give you more value moving ahead. Also, Death X is getting a reprint, so just FYI. But that'll do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. If I missed anything or you have any questions, please put it in the comment section below. It's greatly appreciated. And also, please go check out the GoFundMe, link in the description below. We're getting there super fast. Really appreciate you guys once again. Whoever these big donators are that put anonymous, you guys are just absolutely amazing, and just mad respect. Love you guys so much. But that'll do it. I'll see you guys in the next video.